Today I want to test the myth that guitar wireless systems ruin your guitar tone. Also, a while back, Xvive sent me their new P58 guitar wireless system, so I think it's a good opportunity to dig into that and see what it's all about. So we'll test wireless systems versus guitar cables, different guitar cables versus different guitar cables, and then we'll get into the product as well. Let's see if there's much interference, and then we'll check the range. I don't know, we'll figure some stuff out. Let's get into it. What's up, guitar nerds? Cam here, back in the lab again, and today I want to talk about guitar wireless systems. I was recently involved yet again in the debate around whether or not guitar wireless systems will suck your guitar tone, whether they negatively affect your tone versus using a cable. Now, in my experience, it's really not that big of a deal or that big of a difference if you're using a quality wireless system. And I think the argument becomes even more relevant now that we have all of these budget wireless systems popping up on the market. You got NUX and Xvive and so on and so forth, and they have their various different forms. And so today, specifically, I figured we would take the opportunity to check out the Xvive P58 guitar wireless system and just see how it fares against a cable. And we'll also go ahead and dive in and check out all the features of this because that seems fun, because I haven't even opened this box. So we'll open this up, see what's in here, and then we'll test it out. And what I want to do is we're going to take, I've got a song that I need to record a guitar part to. It's for, I think it's for a video game cutscene or something. It's just a very ambient piece, so it's a kind of a departure from what we usually do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the guitar and record it in DI. We'll use the Harrison 32C preamp for the DI, and then we'll go ahead and send that back out to the United replay box, the reamp box from UST. And from there, that's where we'll do our test. So on the first one, we'll use this guitar cable right here. I forget the brand, and it just has a logo. I will look this up, and I'll put it in the video description so you know, because whatever these are, I actually love them, and I need to find some more. It's kind of my favorite cable right now. And then I've got, this is a live wire. So this is your Guitar Center cable. This must be one of the upgraded ones. It's got the gold-plated connectors, but not their most expensive one. So this is a very common cable. You walk into any Guitar Center and buy this versus my favorite cable. And so we'll come out of the replay box with one cable and record the take, and then we'll record that exact same takes, and we'll send the DI right back out through the live wire cable, and then finally, instead of a cable, we will attach the replay box to the P58 system. And then we'll go through and we'll play all of these, and I'll just swap between the cable 1, cable 2, and the Xvive wireless system, and we'll just listen to it and see if in this little song, if we can tell any major differences. But I want to take it a step further from that, and I would like to also go ahead and do our frequency analysis tests on it, and then, let's just get a visual representation of the differences between the cables and between the wireless system, because my guess is that there will be no more difference between this and one cable than there is two different cables to one another. Now, the one place where a wireless system definitely will affect your tone is if you're using certain guitar pedals. So like the best, most classic example of this is the old school original fuzz face circuit. I mean, there's plenty of other examples, but this is, the most famous one, where you definitely want to be plugged directly from your guitar into the fuzz face as the first pedal in your chain, because that pedal interacts with your pickups and the impedances between the two affect how that pedal sounds. And in that case, a wireless system, if that's your tone, if you're an old school classic fuzz face user, then you already know this. No wireless system is in your future. You got to keep using a cable. But outside of those few pedal examples that really need to be directly plugged into your guitar to get the kind of tones and things that you're used to, the way they react to one another, your pickups and the pedal have a relationship that really makes that tone what it is. But outside of that, is a wireless system going to make any difference or a bigger difference than just swapping from one cable to another cable? And we're going to test that out. We're going to look at the graphs. We're going to listen to the song. And then also after that, the next biggest question about wireless systems is range and interference, right? Like, how far away can I go? How reliable is this going to be with other signals on stage? So this P58 and many more of the more affordable units that you can buy these days are digital units. And what that means is it's converting your analog signal to digital and then streaming that digital signal wirelessly to the receiver, which then converts it back into analog and then through the rest of your pedal chain. And so depending on the frequencies, the two most common by far are the 2.4 gigahertz band and the new 5.8 gigahertz band. The Xvive is the 5.8 gigahertz band. Now you've got other digital systems in the affordable realm. The new X, for example, I think is 2.4 gigahertz. Now the trade-offs between those, 2.4 gigahertz is going to have more range, so you can get further away. Maybe you need to go through some walls for some reason. 2.4 gigahertz will be more reliable at distance or with obstructed line of sight. The 5.8 gigahertz band, on the other hand, is much less prone to interference and dropouts from other wireless equipment. So when you're on stage and the band's using in-ears and your in-ear monitor system has wireless, perhaps the venue has wireless, and just all of these signals floating around, the 5.8 gigahertz band should get a lot less interference from other signals on stage and in the venue. But that comes at the cost of a shorter range. I believe Xvive is claiming about 100-foot line of sight range, which to me, I think that is plenty. I think even on a fairly large stage, 100-foot line of sight is going to be no problem. But we're going to test that out as well. I'll plug this into a guitar after our first few tests, and then I'll walk out of here into the live room. We'll see if I can. So this will be a good test because this wall here between this and the live room is, it's a big, thick, sound-treated wall. It should be a great test to see what kind of obstructions this thing can make it through. And if we make it into the live room and to the other side of the live room with no problems, I'll keep going. I'll go into the other control room. And if we get to that point, then I'll step outside and we'll see what happens. And I think between, the test and comparison between the cables and looking at the frequency response graphs and then testing the range on these, I think you have a pretty good idea if one of these new budget wireless systems could be right for you. Now the P58, I think they're right around $200 US. The P58 is the one with the pedal receiver, and I really like this. So it's like the Shure GLDX or like the new X. I don't know what the model is, but they have one with the pedal receiver. I like that setup a lot. In fact, we'll see if I actually start using this thing. It's a possibility. So we're going to test all of this stuff out, and we're gonna put this to rest. So let's start by opening the Xvive P58 and see what we get in the box. I think I know generally what we get. All right, there we go. Okay, box, goodbye. All right, so this is exactly what pulled out of the box. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there is a transmitter and a receiver, and this white box, I'm assuming, is a power cable for the receiver. Let's check out this receiver first. Okay, this is actually metal. Button feels solid. We have got the channel scan button, so you can find a clear channel for the wireless. We have an input, and this input is really, I think, a great idea. If I were to use this live, I would start with the wireless system, but I would keep a cable up by my pedal board right there. And if I was getting lots of interference and dropouts, I would just swap to the cable. I could still plug into this. And this receiver also doubles as a tuner, which is also very handy. So just replace your tuner on your board, and now you're running wireless. So very cool. Now the transmitter in this system that I just threw on the floor, but that's part of the test because, I mean, this stuff's going to get dropped all the time, right? So the transmitter is one of these dongle units. So it just unfolds and you plug this directly into your guitar. I don't know how I feel about these. I've never tried them. And frankly, a dongle system is one of the reasons I never purchased any of these budget systems to try them out. Now, something like the new X is more traditional, where you have a pocket pack and a cable rather than the dongle. So I think what we should do right now is see how this fits into different styles of guitars, and if it gets in the way, if it's going to be annoying. Does it look stupid? I don't know. Let's check it out. Let me go grab some guitars. All right, so first let's check this out with a Strat or Tele style. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but I mean, that's kind of annoying, and I can't fold it all the way up here because it runs into the tone knob. I can kind of get it under there, but then you can't get the tone knob. I can kind of get down there, and it won't fold all the way back that way. I mean, we're limited to, let's see that. That might not be, oh no, because the trem, if you get a Bigsby on your Tele, that's going to be annoying. In fact, all right. So unless I'm missing something here, it can't flip all the way around that way. Can't, so it's got to fold there. So it's definitely in the way of the tremolo, and it's in the way of the tone knob. I mean, I guess you could do that. So we could pull it out, move the trem all the way up there, and then put that back like that. And that kind of gets the trem far enough away to be maybe usable. I could maybe go with that as well. But the point is, this is exactly what I was afraid of. I'm not a big fan of this dongle being in the way, especially on this guitar with a tremolo and a Tele style input jack. So I don't know, we got to fail on that one. Let me grab a different guitar. Okay, so let's check it out on a 335 style guitar, or this is a 333, I guess. But these, you can see, if you're not aware, they got the jack still on the front here, but no tremolo to contend with. So we can just pop that in there like that. So it kind of is poking up, off the body quite a bit there. You can kind of down like that. So, it's definitely not an elegant thing sitting there. That's for sure. So, all right, I think we might be knocking the bad ones out of the way right up front, huh? Okay, I'll tell you what, kind of looks funny. It's sticking out up off the body a little bit, but it's not in the way. It's not going to actually impede the function of the guitar like it did on that Talman with the tremolo. So that's fine. That's passing grade. Kind of looks stupid, but it would work. It's functional. It's not in the way. Let's grab a different guitar. Okay, so here's what I think today is a pretty common you know, traditional jack setup where it's on the bottom of the guitar here. So we would just plug this thing in right there and it could go, you can see it's still, and it's still a thing there, you know what I mean? It's not big a deal. It's definitely going to be fine on this guitar. You could come this way if you wanted to. That's not even in the way on your lap. And if you rotate it up this way, it's not in the way of your strap or anything. So it's definitely still a dongle hanging there, but also a passing grade on that. So if this is the style jack you got, the dongle is totally functional. Nothing wrong with that. Now that Talman makes me want to try an actual Strat. So give me just a second and I'll go grab a Strat. Okay, here we go. Traditional Fender Stratocaster. Let's see. I've got the tremolo on. I'm going to plug this in to the Strat jack and see. Strat jack. All right, let's plug this thing in. Okay, I'm finding this very similar to the Tele style on the Talman. Could go like that, I think is the sleekest way to put it. But it does not totally, just so you're aware, does not totally clear the tremolo like that. You could move it a little more, but honestly for me, on a Strat, that would be fine. That's about as far as I get with the trem. In fact, I'd probably put it back like that a lot when I'm playing, then grab like this. But that's far enough. Can still, it's a little bit in the way of the tone. Not a big deal for me. I don't do a lot of like effect with the tone knob or anything. It's not in the way of any other controls. Sticks up off the body a little bit, but functional. Passing grade here as well. Definitely better than the Talman. And let's see, what other, oh yeah, let me go grab one more guitar and we'll check it out. All right, so now let's check out the Ibanez Prestige style. If you're not familiar with the Prestige, they actually have the input jack on the edge here. All right, I got a cable here. So on a Prestige, you actually put the jack in at a downward angle here, like that, and then it can just come up around your strap. I actually really like the jack system on the Prestige, but just so you're aware, it's kind of a downward angle thing. Let's see if this dongle can work with that. That does clear. Okay, that's actually slick. That's fine. In fact, that's besides the normal edge jack, that's the slickest one yet. So if you got the Prestige style jack like that, definite pass. That doesn't bother me at all. It would not get in my way at all. It does not get in the way when I'm sitting. It's not in the way of the strap. Wouldn't even really know it's there. Kind of contours to the body and doesn't even look terrible. So definitely a pass on the Prestige. So these edge jacks, it seems, these dongles are fine. So if you've got your jack on the edge, or maybe even if it's angled or straight jack on the edge, totally fine. That's a very workable system. If you've got the jack on the front of your guitar, like a Strat or a Tele, or even the 333 or 335 style, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. But yeah, this is cool on the Ibanez. I dig that. And these are Prestiges are what I play most of the time, honestly. So I might get some use out of this thing. Cool. Let's see what's in the white box of things. It's got some manuals, a warranty card, the user manual. There's another paper in there. I didn't look at it before I threw it, sorry. And then we've got, oh, okay, this is super cool. So clearly you've got to charge your transmitter. The pedal takes power. Looks like just normal 9-volt power, so it'll work with your pedal power, whatever you're using to power your board. or they did actually provide the adapter with it. That is incredibly refreshing, just getting the adapter with it. Most of the time, you're on your own to find an adapter, which is fine. I mean, everyone's using like a pedal power or, I don't know, MXR, whatever pedal power station you're using. I use the pedal power 2 Plus. I've got a couple of those around. And then I love the Seox. Got the DC7 and the little satellite thing. But whatever pedal power you're using can definitely be powered by this. If you don't have pedal power, hey, they included the adapter. But even cooler than that, what I just figured out is to charge your transmitter. They've got a USB-C charging port on the back of the receiver here. And not only that, they included the cable. So you don't got to go looking for power cables or charger cables. Xvive has given you everything you need right in the box. Good job, Xvive. That you seriously don't see that much anymore these days. So very cool. Awesome. Okay, let me set up a guitar and get this reamp situation going on, and we'll play this song. We'll play it through cable 1, cable 2, and the Xvive P58 wireless system. Let's do it. Okay, so we are going directly from the guitar into the DI input of this Harrison 32C preamp. Then we're coming out of the interface into this United replay box. And from there, we're using 2 different cables. In this case, I'm showing you the live wire. So the live wire out of the reamp box and into this lovely Bad Cat Era 30 amplifier. Then from the amp, we're going out into the live room, into the speaker. We'll go check that out. Then from there, we run out here to the live room into this matchless SSD 112 cabinet, and we're miking it up simple with SM57 slightly off axis, and then back into the control room. And then from our microphone to this Warm Audio Tone Beast preamp. I just wanted to give you a quick peek at how the reamp box to wireless is working in case you're curious. So instead of a cable out of the reamp box, we've got the transmitter in the reamp box, and then I'm using a short length of cable to get from the receiver to the amp. Okay, so there you go. In order, we had the Xvive wireless system, We did it in true bypass and buffered mode. Then we moved on to D'Addario cable. And from there, we moved on to the live wire cable. Did you hear a difference while we were flipping through those in that little song we did? No, you didn't, and neither did I. And I think that's also going to be represented in the frequency analysis graphs we're going to take a look at right now. Okay, so I went ahead and what we did is ran a frequency analysis test using REW on the D'Addario cable, the live wire cable, the Xvive in buffered mode, and the Xvive in true bypass mode. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. And here we are. So the red, you have got the Xvive in buffered mode. Green is the Xvive in true bypass mode. The blue is the live wire cable, and the orange is the D'Addario cable. So let's see here. What can we learn from this? Well, I think what we can learn is that these all look incredibly similar. Let me bunch them back together. The only place we get any real interesting, even tiny amount of separation is in the very high end at 20K. And that looks like I can see every color there. So they all are varying a tiny, I mean, an inconsequential amount at 20K. Seriously, not even worth talking about. And then where they really start to diverge is right around 22 hertz, the very low frequencies, which is not a guitar frequency. Like all of this squiggliness down here, all this non-matching is just not a guitar frequency. You're not going to hear it. So, and it doesn't really seem to be necessarily like wireless versus cable. I mean, the two cables are pretty wildly different from one another. Remember, this orange is a cable and this blue is a cable, and they're doing wildly different things on the very low end as well. We're talking down around 10 hertz, below 10 hertz. Like you can't even hear these frequencies. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, the graphs are kind of incredibly telling right now. These things do the exact same thing. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the exact same thing from 25 hertz to 20 kilohertz. There is no difference in the frequency response. So I think, you know what, we can just put a nail in that coffin. No, wireless systems do not make your tone awful, or what, they don't suck tone, whatever people want to say. You can just call BS on it. Here's the graphs to prove it. Okay, so now let's just I want to do a quick and dirty, range test. So I've got this Charvel plugged into the transmitter, which is right here behind me over here. And I'm just going to play some open chords of some kind, and I'm going to walk at least 100 feet away. I can't even get 100 feet away in here, line of sight, so there's going to be, walls in between me. But if I can get at least 100 feet away, then I'd say that lives up to expectations. So let's just do it. Okay, I got over 100 feet away with walls in between me, and I didn't have any dropouts. I didn't even really start noticing any latency, which brings up another good point. Let's just do a quick latency test. I'll report that number and we'll talk about what that means. Cool. Okay, so ran a quick latency test on my unit here, and with it in the same room with me, we're getting about 5 milliseconds latency. It's not amazing, it's usable, and that's coming from not just the wireless, but the digital to analog and analog to digital conversion. So what does 5 milliseconds mean for you? Well, I think probably the biggest thing to consider is if you're using a digital pedal in your chain as well. Like, for example, if you've seen some of my previous videos, we measured the AND black box at over, almost 6 milliseconds or something like that. Or the Latency GP5 is right about 5 milliseconds. So add the wireless 5 milliseconds to your GP5 5 milliseconds, all of a sudden you're at 10 milliseconds. And then if you're using an FR, then you've got, speaker distance. I don't know. I would say with this wireless system, you're not going to want to use more than one digital pedal along with the wireless. Or let's say you're using a Tonex, which I've measured the latency at like 1.5 milliseconds. So, you could easily add 2 Tonex 1 pedals with this wireless system and still probably not notice any major problems. But if you're using some of the more budget digital modelers and things with higher latency in the 5+ milliseconds range, you're not going to be able to add any more than probably just that before you start causing a problem for yourself. So it is important to keep in mind. Okay, that about wraps it up. Does a wireless guitar system ruin your tone? Is it a tone suck? No, it's fine. Even these modern budget systems, you're not going to notice any difference. I think we tested about as good as we could. So as far as the specific Xvive P58, as long as you're not using a Tele with a Bigsby or something like that, it's functional. It exceeded the range they claimed, and 5 milliseconds is a little high in the latency, but it's doable. It just depends on what's in the rest of your chain. The sound quality was good. I think we could test a lot of different wireless systems and come to the same conclusion, which is no, it doesn't suck tone. It makes almost zero difference. And, we saw that in our frequency analysis graphs. So is wireless for you? I don't know. That depends on your needs and what you're doing, but we have definitely shown that your tone's going to be just fine. And we took a look at one of the modern budget options available. In fact, if you are interested in that particular one, there is a link down below, so you can go get that and purchase that. It'll help out the channel, please do. Also, there's links to pretty much every other product we mentioned in this video. You can find links to that. So use those links if you want to check something out. And then, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something cool next time. See ya.